Welcome to Fintell. This is the landing page where we'll log in. And then it takes you straight to the dashboard. At the dashboard, you can see an overview of the business activities, the customers, the vendors, invoices, bills, and all the transactions that this business does. You can also see some basic analytics, income versus expense by category, and all information that gives you a representative overview of the activities of this business. To briefly explain what Fintell does, we'll go through how this business is able to capture its transactional activities. But let's start by first looking at inventory and services. Here you can see that this business has a record of all their products. You can easily create one here individually by using the tab to put in the name SKU, and then you can differentiate between a product or service and then create. You can also upload one file, and then you can also download this file as well. Whatever you have put in the products and services then forms the inventory of all the products, the SKUs, and the quantity that the business has. Here you can see the customers, and here you can see the vendors of this business. Same way you add individually a vendor or a customer, import it as a file, and then export all that information as well, download it as a file. On the banking, there's the exciting functionality where Fintell allows you to integrate a bank account, and then you can upload your bank statement and simply categorize what type of transaction that is. All debits will give you an option to be categorized as an outflow, and all credit will give you an option to be categorized as an inflow. Let's say I want to upload for an Access Bank account. I'm choosing a file here and the desktop, and I upload it. It's been uploaded. Bank statement file uploaded successfully. Now let's connect it. Aha, that's done. Now you will see that all the information that was on that file has been brought here. These are their respective dates. This is today's date of the upload, the transaction, and then each of the narration. So I can simply say this particular debit was a marketing expense. You click on that, and it leaves this queue because it's been categorized successfully. Let's say this particular credit is a sales income. That has also been categorized successfully. What this does is the incomes or the expense that has been categorized goes ahead to form your account, the financials that will be prepared under incomes or expenses accordingly. Other features under this model is that you can add any bank account. Let's quickly try and do one. Let's say this is a bank. I would use, for example, my account, my personal account with Stanbic. My name is TSC Oladapo. This is the account number. I'll just put it, and then you see it just pops up my name, and then I can put how much I have as the opening balance, my phone number, and then today's date, and create Vala. Once that's created, I can always appropriate inflows into that account from invoices that I issue as a business or pay expenses from that account. We will look at that shortly. And then bank statement. Any bank statement that is processed, just like the one we just uploaded, can be downloaded here easily. Just click here and then you can go ahead and download it as you want, or just delete it outrightly from this queue. And so under income, you can have income coming in through your invoices that are being issued as a business. Here you have a sample of an invoice. Here it's created. I have sent this one, and then you can expect the payment for it. When payment comes, I can just click to add that payment and appropriate it to one of my accounts. The one I just created is this, Stambik TSC, and then say that's where the money came in through, the date and all the other data, and then that payment is received. I can also just go ahead and create an invoice as well for a new customer. I'll just select who the customer's name is, the date, blah blah blah, invoice number, categorize the income I'm expecting from that invoice, reference number, and all of that, and then the invoice is created as well. Same thing with expense, bills, same logic. And for the income, when money is received, like we just did categorize one, you have it come here. All these are income. You can come here and filter out what type of income you have received, apply the search button, and you have all income here. I can see I'm looking for loan repayments that were paid to me, and this is them as well. I can filter based on the customer. I can filter based on my account by selecting which, and then I can, search based on the date. And all that income is categorized here for this business. Same logic as well applies to expenses and payments, where I can filter the categories out, who I'm paying, my account that I'm paying from, and all of that. I can also download this as a file, or I can add another payment afresh, just like we discussed just now for invoices as well. And the beauty of all of this is that as a business, you then have a basic way to manage all of your accounts. First, you can do it by categorizing your charts of account. You have assets, and these are the journals that form that, for liabilities, for expenses as well. And here you can manage your journal entries by creating a new journal if you want to. Your ledger summary, you have a view of that. You can decide to filter out and say want to look at the inventory ledger, what's in here, apply it. Nothing is showing simply because we're working with a date range. We don't have anything. But that's basically the logic. Bad debts, what's in this ledger, just look at that. And your balance sheet, this is it. This is what it looks like. You can simply come here and download this as a file. It will come as a PDF. Yep. Trial balance, you have that view here as well. You can come here and download it. Same way, look at your start and your end date, and you can filter out what your trial balance looks like. This business can plan its budget as well. Come here, create. Across all categories, you can create exactly what you expect the expenditure to look like in income. I mean in expense, and then what your income should look like in income, right? Then you can always benchmark what you're actually saying versus this budget. Um, your account, and not just Okay, yes. So we'll come here to reports where you can access all the reports of your business. Um, account statement, transactional report, account statement, income entry, expense entry, income versus expenses. You can always download this as a PDF file at any point. Here you can see what your income is, revenue, invoice. This are the lines that made up your income, and you have income here only for April, May. And then this is what your expenses look like for April, May, and then the difference is here and here. Um, here you're at profit. In May, you're at loss, basically. Same way goes for profit and loss, where you're looking at all lines of income, all things that makes up a revenue: loan repayment income, sales income, investment income, gains, blah blah blah. And then you have your total. Same way goes for your expense, all the lines that make up your expenses: purchases, utilities, marketing, sales, repayments, and all bills that you paid out. And then you have your net profit, total income minus total expense. And this is what it looks like for that period as well. The system allows you to do all of this. Invoice summary, you can do all of this. What your invoice looks like, bill summary, product stock. For the user management profile, here's where you add your users, administrative purposes only. Who is an accountant? Who is your CTO? Just click a new user, and then you can define what they are and what their roles are as well. Fixed entries. So when you're recording an invoice, you can always select the tax, but this is where you define what tax should look like. Here we have defined it as VAT, and it's operating at 7.6%. You can also always define a fixed tax, whatever it is, employee tax, whatever, define the tax rate, and it will apply straight up from the income, so you are calculating exactly what your income should be. You can also define your categories as well. You remember we were tagging and then labeling income as to what they were, expenses as to what they were. You can define all of that here. You can also define the units of your sales or your purchases here. Whatever units you're working with, you define them here. And you can always create a custom field so long as you can define what model that field operates on as well. The system settings is here where you have a lot of flexibilities, how you want your invoices to look like. Do you want your invoice to come with the New York model or the London type of invoice? How do you want your bills to look? Email notifications you want to get, all system settings, you can do all of that here. And so essentially this is Fintell, and what it does helps you get an end-to-end view of your customers. As a business, you can also manage all your financials here without necessarily having to use a financial accountant. You can work with your employees, your staff members to be able to update this, and then you have a view of what your profit is like, what your expenses like, budget, what your inventories are going out, what's coming in, what you're selling, what you're making, all of that in one view. And thank you very much for your time.